So we're here today to change some brakes on my 2004 Dodge Ram. I have the full pads and rotors for the front and back. We're going to start with the back because that's definitely where the trouble area is right now. We can go around and see how dark and it looks like just coated in brake dust this I guess passenger rear side is. If we walk around to the driver's side, this one looks a lot cleaner. So definitely I think the passenger side is where the problem noise is coming from, but definitely all around all the brakes could definitely use an upgrade. So we have that. Go ahead and loosen up these lug nuts and get the truck in the air and start taking off the wheels to get to the brakes. Got the passenger tire off and the brakes. I mean, coming in from a Maryland truck, it's you can see the calipers are pretty rusted, and then if you look in the exhaust back there, it's definitely rusty, and I think there's a couple holes here and there throughout. But the brakes are definitely toast. The backside I think might be hard to see, but the backside was definitely more grooved up than the front. So we'll hit this with some PB Blaster and see how much effort it takes to get all these bolts off. Turns out I'm a poor planner and I didn't get all my tools in advance. I was actually missing a 21mm. That's for the caliper. So hopefully after a quick trip to the store with the right tools, we can get through it. That should just about be it. And we have our bracket off. That back pad is absolutely destroyed. See, the front one still, I don't know, maybe had a little bit left, but not much. So I was going to put some anti-seize on the hub, but it turns out I don't have any. I just have some caliper grease. So we're going to go ahead, get this new rotor on here, clean off the back side first, flip it around, then I'll clean off the front side. Some brake clean. Get that all in there. Probably more than I ever need it. That's cleaned up. Now it's just the yellow fuzzies from my towel. Probably shouldn't have used that. Go ahead, flip this around, seat that on there. Give it a slightly lighter spray. Same thing will come back in. I think I gotta get my rusty mounting bracket back up, so I'll take some time. Wire brush this a little bit. I think I have new shims to put on, and we'll get going on that. Well, one side supposedly done. Got it on there, got everything torqued. Looks good, looks shiny. Hopefully that stays for a little bit before it starts to rust over again. But yeah, that's it. Took a little bit longer than expected, but we'll move to the driver's side and see how much quicker we can do that side. Just like that, the driver's side rear is done. Here are the pads from this side. A lot better. The driver's side was a lot easier to do. Probably took me half as long. Having done it once I think helped, but also it just seemed like this side was a lot less rusty and seized up, so bolts came off a lot easier, the hub or the rotor came off a lot easier, and everything went back together as you'd expect. So I'll get the wheels back on, torque it down once it's on the ground, and might do the fronts, might wait. We are back at the brake job. It's a new day, rained overnight, so we're starting on the sunnier, slightly more dry side of the truck. Now flipped it around so we have the front pointed out just to get more room for the jack under it. But looking through here, looks like I guess it's the rod end bushing on the steering rack. That's busted. I've replaced these end links, but all the bushings in this thing look absolutely annihilated. But that's going to be a project for another day. I'm hoping these rotors pop off pretty easy. I changed the half shafts and the hubs a couple years ago, so it should be relatively easy compared to the rear. We're onto the driver's side front now. This is the shaded side of the truck, so the ground's a lot more wet. By the time I finished up the passenger side, the ground had just about all but dried up. The bushings on this side look better. Some of them are still a little beat up. I don't know what happened to those end links. You can see this boot also looks like it has a tear in it. The half shafts look good. These upper control arms bushings look better than the passenger side, but they're still definitely pretty old. Taking off the front brakes on the other side, these were definitely replaced, I don't know, more recently than the rears. There was a lot of pad life left on them, but I guess the vents of the rotor were pretty corroded up. You can see on this side as well. They look old, but the pads in there still are pretty thick. We have the parts. We're here anyway, so we're gonna finish up and change all these out. Just like that, job's over.